When we think of Craig Melvin, we often picture the charismatic Today Show anchor, whose warm smile, steady presence, and compassionate storytelling have become a morning staple for millions of viewers. Known not just for his professionalism, but also for his ability to connect deeply with people, Craig has built a reputation as one of television's most trusted voices. But behind the polished charm and calm delivery lies a man, like any of us, vulnerable to life's most unexpected challenges. Recently, whispers of concern began spreading after Craig appeared visibly strained during a public engagement. What at first seemed like simple fatigue soon revealed itself to be something much more serious, something that would alter his life, his family's daily rhythm, and even the way fans see him. And at the heart of this story is not just Craig, but his wife, journalist and broadcaster Lindsay Czarniak, whose quiet strength and unwavering devotion have carried him through some of his darkest days. This is not just a story about a television personality battling health complications. It is a story about love, resilience, family, and the universal reminder that none of us, no matter how public, admired, or accomplished, are immune to life's hardest trials. It began as an evening meant for celebration. Craig, ever the professional, attended a high-profile charity event in New York City. Colleagues and friends noticed something different almost immediately. The usually vibrant anchor appeared subdued, his energy lacking its typical spark. At first, attendees thought perhaps he was simply tired. After all, early mornings on Today, combined with a busy family life, would drain anyone. But as the evening wore on, his demeanor shifted from exhaustion to visible discomfort. He winced slightly while walking, at times holding his side as though trying to steady himself. Lindsay, who stood gracefully by his side, never once left him. She placed a reassuring hand on his arm, whispered words only he could hear, and guided him through conversations with a watchful eye. To outsiders, her quiet gestures may have seemed like nothing unusual, a wife supporting her husband. But for those who know Craig, the signs were undeniable. Something was not right. By the end of the night, insiders revealed that doctors had been quietly called in to evaluate Craig's condition. What was supposed to be a simple evening of goodwill and community instead became the turning point in a very private health battle. The following days were filled with hushed phone calls, consultations, and long hours in sterile hospital corridors. Doctors conducted examinations, and soon the truth emerged, a diagnosis far more serious than anyone had dared to imagine. The word alone carries with it a weight that can silence even the most confident voices. For Craig, who had already endured heartbreak when his brother, Lawrence Meadows, lost his battle with colon cancer in 2020, the news was especially devastating. Friends close to the family said Craig initially struggled to process the diagnosis. Memories of his brother's courageous fight came rushing back, and the parallels were too painful to ignore. But while grief threatened to overwhelm him, there was one constant presence pulling him back toward strength: Lindsay. Lindsay Czarniak is no stranger to pressure. As a seasoned sports journalist and broadcaster, she has covered everything from the Olympics to the Super Bowl. But nothing could prepare her for this deeply personal challenge. Those close to her describe Lindsay as the anchor within the Melvin household. While Craig has long been the face that millions wake up to on national television, Lindsay is the one who holds their family together with a quiet grace. When Craig received his diagnosis, Lindsay immediately stepped into action. She coordinated medical appointments, spoke with specialists, and researched treatment options. She was determined to ensure that Craig would not walk this road alone. And yet beneath her strong exterior, the emotional toll was immense. Friends revealed moments when Lindsay would retreat to the privacy of their bedroom, tears streaming down her face, only to compose herself before rejoining Craig and their children. For her, the greatest challenge was balancing her role as caregiver, partner, and mother, while carrying her own fears silently. At the center of Craig and Lindsay's world are their two children, Delano and Sybil, both young, both deeply attached to their father. For Craig, explaining his illness to them was one of the most heart-wrenching experiences of his life. How do you tell children that their strong, dependable dad is sick? How do you explain the word cancer without shattering their sense of safety? Lindsay and Craig approached the conversation with honesty, choosing age-appropriate words but refusing to hide the truth. They emphasized hope, strength, and the importance of sticking together as a family. In many ways, the children became a source of unexpected courage. Their laughter, their questions, and even their simple requests for daddy time reminded Craig daily of what he was fighting for. As Craig embarked on treatment, his world changed dramatically. The man who once thrived in the chaos of live television now found his energy drained by hospital visits and recovery days. Fans noticed his absence from the Today Show and began to speculate. Some assumed he was on vacation. Others believed he was focusing on family. Few imagined the truth, that behind the camera, Craig was waging a very personal battle. Lindsay became his constant companion during treatment sessions. She sat beside him in waiting rooms, held his hand through procedures, and filled the silence with quiet reassurances. Colleagues who reached out were struck by her resilience. One described her as a lighthouse, steady, unwavering, guiding Craig through the storm. For Craig, the parallels to his brother's journey were inescapable. Lawrence Meadows, a Baptist minister, had been diagnosed with colon cancer in 2016 and fought bravely until his passing 4 years later. Craig had spoken openly about the impact of his brother's death on his own life, using his platform to raise awareness about early screening and preventative care. Now facing his own diagnosis, Craig reflected deeply on Lawrence's courage. He shared privately with friends that he often felt his brother's presence with him, guiding him, encouraging him, reminding him that faith and family can carry you through even the darkest valleys. While Craig battled physically, Lindsay's battle was largely emotional. She shouldered not only her own fears, but also the responsibility of keeping their family strong. Colleagues noticed her absence from certain professional engagements. Insiders explained that Lindsay had chosen to step back, prioritizing her husband and children over her career commitments. This sacrifice did not go unnoticed. Friends described her as the quiet hero of the Melvin household, someone who held the pieces together even when her own heart felt broken. Yet despite the private tears, Lindsay continued to radiate strength publicly. She smiled for the children, encouraged Craig with words of affirmation, and reminded him that he was never alone. Doctors outlined a treatment plan for Craig, but the path forward would not be easy. Fatigue, side effects, and lifestyle changes became daily realities. Public appearances dwindled as Craig focused on recovery, with Lindsay carefully managing the balance between his health and his career. The Today Show family rallied around him, offering support both on and off camera. Co-anchors reached out frequently, reminding Craig that he had a second family cheering him on. Viewers, too, began to send messages of love and encouragement, flooding social media with prayers and well wishes. For Craig, these messages served as a lifeline. On difficult days, Lindsay would read them aloud, reminding him of the countless people rooting for his recovery. What makes Craig Melvin's story so poignant is that it transcends television. His journey is not just about a journalist battling illness. It is about the universal themes of love, resilience, and the power of family. In many ways, his battle has become a mirror for countless viewers who have faced similar struggles. Families who have walked the road of cancer know the pain, the fear, and the small victories along the way. For them, Craig's story is not just news, it is personal. And perhaps that is why his journey has resonated so deeply. Because at its core, it reminds us that no amount of fame, success, or recognition can shield us from life's trials. What truly matters in the end is the love we give and the love we receive. As Craig Melvin continues his fight, one thing remains clear. He is not alone. He has Lindsay by his side, standing as his partner, his advocate, and his greatest source of strength.
He has his children, whose laughter brings light to even the darkest days. He has his colleagues, his friends, and the millions of viewers who wake up each morning inspired by his courage. The road ahead is uncertain, but so too is it filled with hope. Craig's resilience, Lindsay's quiet strength, and the unwavering love of their family remind us all of the power of human connection. This story, though deeply personal, carries a universal truth. Life is fragile, but love makes us strong. And perhaps that is the greatest takeaway from Craig Melvin's unexpected health battle. Not just the reminder of our shared vulnerability, but the profound beauty of standing together in the face of it. For more heartfelt stories and updates on Craig Melvin and other beloved figures, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you this.